Welcome back, everyone. As you probably guessed from the title of the video, this is the rifle that we are going over today. This is one that doesn't get a lot of press here in America. I think that'll probably change in the years to come. We'll talk about that here a little bit later on, but this obviously is an AKM or AK47. This one here is made in Poland over at the FB Radom factory, which is Poland's state manufacturing, small arms manufacturing facility, I should say. And basically, this rifle has an interesting lineage. So try to make it real condensed here for you. So started out with the Tantal rifle, which I have a review of. You can check it out. And that, of course, was sort of like a modernized AK-74 that the folks in Poland made when they were still under the Warsaw Pact. Chambered at 5.45, so the 7.6 ammunition that a lot of you guys are really familiar, that's what it fed. And then when Poland joined NATO, they made a version of the rifle that you guys see here, which I have a full review of, which was their Beryl, or Beryl again, chambered in 5.56. So that way they could do a couple things. They could interchange ammo with their NATO counterparts, but also still use a lot of the same tooling and manufacturing capability that they had at the FB Radom plant, which made a ton of sense. And that rifle has been used for decades by the Polish, and they're slowly switching away from it now, but they're still out there fielded in service. This rifle right here is the result of a military request from the nation of Nigeria. So obviously they have a lot of thick brush over there in Nigeria, and the 7.6 through 2x39 round is ubiquitous in Africa, I should say, and it does a good job at punching through light brush. So essentially, the Nigerian folks asked the folks over in Poland to make essentially their 5.56 Beryl in 7.6 2x39. So that's what we have here. It is a military-proven rifle, and the reason I said they're probably going to get more popular in the future is that this is a relatively recent production, i.e. this caliber configuration in this rifle. And we're going to get up close and personal, look at all the details here in just a second. But basically, since these have been being produced, there's been wars going on, a lot of them, as many of you guys may know. So the imports of them into America have been very slow. That said, as of right now, when I'm making this video, they are in stock. So that's why I'm doing the video, to get that information out to you guys here. So we're going to do some accuracy testing. We're going to talk about all the little intricacies that this rifle has versus other standard AKMs out there, and basically let you guys know how it's performed overall. But this is going to be a Mug Club episode, so what that means for folks who are new here is that we're going to do the free video here on YouTube and Rumble, and then we're going to head over to Mug Club, which is a place that creators can make exclusive content, which is censorship free, which always is nice. So that way there's no big tech telling us what we can and cannot say, and we're going to be talking about several different alphabet agencies buying gun owners' personal information through third-party companies and not getting a warrant to do so, and what's being done about it, if anything. So we're going to talk about that over there at Mug Club. I'll also take your questions, Q&A session like we always do. But with that, let's head out to the range, see what kind of accuracy we can get out of this rifle, then come back in and work through it piece by piece to talk about the details. See you at the range. Time to see what kind of groups we can get out of this rifle. I just have a couple loads, nothing match, and basically we have it set up with the primary arms 1 to 6. 6 is the minimum I like to have for a accuracy test or precision test. More is obviously better in these types of scenarios, but it has a chevron reticle, so it gives you a pretty decent holding spot down there at the target. Target's down range at 100 yards, and we do have a Hawksworks can on the end. And in the mag right now is some Tula, I believe it's 122 grain foam metal jacket. And after that, we have some brass case stuff, and we'll see how it goes. All right. That was the Tula. Speaking of ammo, I should mention and thank our ammo sponsor here, which is the folks over at Firearms Depot. They did send out all this brass case stuff that we've been using throughout the review, and they sponsor all ammo here besides 9mm. This is some Igman brass case stuff, sealed primers. Again, it's not match ammo, it's just brass. So again, check out the folks at Firearms Depot if you're looking for ammo, guns, etc. They have some good deals, they do. So, all right, let's see how it likes this load. Let's go check them out. I just watched the target cam that you guys saw, and I'm pretty sure it's this and then this. That's what I think happened. If I'm wrong, I will annotate it down below, but just going with that, That's the widest part of the Tula, and it's right at 2 7/8 inches on that one. And then if we go down to the Igman, opened up, we just had that one that was just kind of crazy. And right there, it's 4.5 inches, but again, non-match loads. So 4 MOAs, generally speaking, what people think they're gonna get with AKs, rack grade AKs, with, you know, steel case ammo or stuff like that. So it's definitely within the envelope. 3-inch group's good. I would imagine with hunting ammo, that would go down to 2 pretty easily. Before getting into all the details on this rifle, I do want to thank the sponsor of today's video, and that is Venture Surplus. I think it's a fitting partner because a lot of folks who think about AKs and combat stuff think of surplus equipment. That said, Venture Surplus sells new and used U.S. military surplus equipment, and they also sell a ton of different items that you guys might be interested in, medical kits, accessories for different types of small arms. And the cool thing about them is they have a constantly changing inventory because of the nature of the business, surplus. So if you guys checked it out last month, go ahead and check it again because they probably have new stuff in that they didn't have last month, and next month will be the same. There also is a discount code here on your screen that you guys should be able to see. Use that over there, and there will be a link in the video description if you guys want to head right over there, of course, after the video is done. So big thanks to Venture Surplus. Now let's get into the details on this rifle. For the details, we're going to start tip to butt like we were in the Navy. So out here on the end, we do have a muzzle device that is from the folks over at Huxworks. It is threaded 1/2 x 28, which sounds a little bit crazy, as I realize many of you guys might be saying in your head. The reason for that, guys, is that the importer on these is Arms of America, and they are the ones who sent this out for the review, so just full credit to them for that, and full disclosure there on that front. And they now offer, as of this video anyway, may change in the future, who knows, they offer a few options for the muzzle devices. So the actual factory Polish rifles that would go out have a pinned muzzle device on a non-threaded barrel. So that actually would be clone correct, if you will. But they also offer these to be threaded in either 1/2 x 28 or 1/14, depending on which muzzle devices you prefer. So I had mine done by 1/2 x 28, but just know, make sure you're using the right 30 caliber can if you're going to have it threaded 1/2 x 28. But all those are options over there at Arms of America, so you can have it any way you want. So there is that. One thing to note is that the barrel profile itself is relatively light compared to a lot of AKs out there. Most of them are going to be heavier than this. That helps keep the rifle balanced. This rifle weighs in at 6 pounds and 12 ounces rather on my scale unloaded. So for an AK, it's on the lighter side. So continuing on back, we do have our front sight base there. And it is a little bit different. Also, I will rotate it over to show you guys that this rifle is zeroed, and we had to push it basically all the way over to the left. But it is zeroed there, but it is right on the edge, if you will, of being a problem, but it's not a problem. So just throwing that out there. But again, looking at the actual front sight base, you can see it's pinned up top, and then there's a gap here between where this collar is for our gas block. So it's definitely different. It is a unique feature of the barrel rifles. And then continuing on back, of course, to our gas block here, you can take a look at it. We do have our bayonet lugs, unfortunately ground off. That I would imagine is for 922R compliance. On that note, on the compliance front, the parts that are American parts on this gun are going to be the stock, the grip, and then the magazine that it ships with as well. And depending on muzzle device choices, maybe that, but that does keep it 922R compliant. Continuing on back, one thing you'll note if you look at this rifle is that the finish on it is paint on a lot of parts. You can see it starting to wear a little bit there on the gas block, or gas tube rather, I should say. But overall, the finish on this for an AK is very, very good. Better than most for sure. Like if you were to compare it to like a Wasser, it's night and day better. Continuing on back, this is the optional part here. When it ships from the factory, it's just going to ship with standard handguards on there, standard for barrel rifles. They are a little bit different than most AKM pattern handguards, so if that is a concern, just know that going forward. But these are the mil-spec drop-in handguards from Poland that we do have on there. But the handguards that come with it, your lower handguard, it's not universal, but most of your AKM pattern handguards will work for the lower piece with a slight bit of modification. Some will fit on there with absolutely no modification, but in terms of your gas tube cover here, that is a unique animal to the barrel rifle. And you'll note here that the way this actually hinges is different than your standard AK. It just hinges up versus down, and of course at a different pivot point as well. So that is one of the improvements, if you will, that they did make to the system. This handguard, or excuse me, this vertical foregrip is also clone correct. This is from Poland. So if you guys are looking for clone correctness, these are in stock as of this video right now, again, over at Arms of America. But let's keep moving back. Like most AKs, your handguard retainer does have your sling attachment point, and then if you continue on back, again, you'll see caliber 7.62 marked on the trunnion there. Additionally, you'll note that this gun is all numbers matching, so it is 987. That is marked there on the gas tube. You will see that marked here on the trunnion down here as well, and you'll also see it on the bolt and carrier. So one thing to note is that when this did come to me, all of these etchings here for FB Radom were nice and bright white. They have discolored over the months that we've had it and been testing it, but it's not a functional issue. It's just something to point out that has happened. Continuing on back, you will see that we do not have an optics mount on the receiver here. We'll get into the solution for that here in just a second, because the barrels do have a really cool solution for that. But rivets all look good, as you guys can see, and I should also note some were imported with side rails, but that was years ago now at this point. Magazine fitment, we've had zero issues with any magazines. These are Yugo mags, and those, as well as everything else, has fit in there nice and tight in the magwell, no slop, nothing like that. Magwell cut is nice. It's no sharp edges like on a lot of imported AKs. Additionally, we do have a enlarged paddle release here. It's about twice the size of your standard AK paddle release, and then the trigger is actually a Polish trigger from the folks over there at FB Radom. Let me flip it around again and take a look here at our rear sight. That is a standard AK rear sight, so nothing fancy about it. Graduated out to 1,000 meters. And then over here on this side of the gun, you will see some things that are a little bit different. Notably, our safety. It is enhanced in every way. If you kind of look at like the Krebs safeties, it's very similar in that regard. Very smooth. The fitment from the factory was very good. A lot of times with AKs, I have to fit my safeties. On this one, we didn't have to at all. It's very positive, engaging, and of course, as a right-handed shooter, that is very nice. Trigger on the gun is absolutely nothing fancy in terms of pull weight or anything like that, but it does have a flatter shoe than most. Kind of, again, just a modernized feature, but you'll take a look at it there, and pull. Like most AKs, it sort of has a rolling brake right there, and it brakes right at 5 pounds on my scale, and a reset. Very positive and tactile, like all AKs are. That certainly is nice. Continuing on, our grip there, again, that is a 922R part, so it's made in America. However, any AK grips that you guys want will fit on there, so that is nice. Stock here, again, this is an a US made part for compliance. However, many of your AKM stocks will fit. Some will require a slight bit of modification due to our receiver here being slightly different. Many of them will just drop right in though. So we do have our sling attachment point there. And then of course we have our cleaning kit hole in the buttstock. Now let's get this thing disassembled. Disassembly of the rifle is pretty simple. Again, we're just gonna verify we are clear. We are, and there are a few different things going on back here at the rear of the receiver. Many of you guys may have already picked up on that. So first off is that our recoil spring right there has this little piece which needs to be pressed down in order to push in and take your top cover off. So that is there for a couple reasons. Number one, it just gives you a better fit on your top cover. Additionally, if you're firing with grenades from this rifle, your top cover will not pop off. Should note there we do have the ribs on the top cover, which are again clone correct for barrels, as you would imagine. And then many of you guys are wondering what the heck this piece is right here. Well, that piece is for this piece, the optics rail that you guys have been seeing me use throughout the video. We haven't used it all the time, but we have used it, and this is a factory piece, and it is a very cool setup. And what it does essentially is this piece here has a semi-circle hook on there, and that is the open position where you put it on. You can see the hole there has nothing coming through, nothing exposed, and then as you tighten it down and lock it into place, we have that piece of steel which wraps right underneath that slot that's cut into that piece right there. So it is rock solid, and I should note that it does mount up here on the front on both sides. It is cut out specifically for it, and it holds zero. I mean, I've taken it on, taken it off, haven't had any issues there. So getting into disassembly, we're going to push this piece down and then push it forward. If we can do it here on camera. There we go. Take the top cover off. Then of course your recoil spring comes out, bolt and carrier. And while we have it here in the open position, you should note there that the barrel, again, 16 inches, cold hammer forged, chrome lined, lightweight profile like we already talked about. You guys should be seeing in there basically what everything looks like. Wear patterns on this gun are very good. I know that's something that folks are always concerned with the AK pattern rifles, and I haven't seen any abnormalities to date. Taking out our piston and bolt. Again, it is serial marked to the actual gun, so everything does match on there. Take a look at our bolt. We should be rolling in photos here for you guys to check out, but no issues at all in terms of, you know, odd wear or anything like that on the lugs. Should note it does not have a firing pin spring like some of the Bulgarian options. And then here on our carrier, we have no abnormal wear there on the rear. That tail sometimes gets beaten up on a lot of AKs. Again, it looks really, really good. No issues with it at all that I can see. Sorry about the change of scenery. We had to move inside because a literal construction crew showed up at my neighbor's house and it is super loud outside, but we moved indoors. And now that you guys have seen all of the different little components, little things that make the barrel versus a standard AKM rifle, a few things to knock out before we close it out. So many of you guys are familiar with seeing the barrels having those adjustable buttstocks. Now the good folks at Arms of America did send one out to me. I do have it, and I've also used them on my 5.56 guns as well. I generally, guys, I do not like them, especially when combined with the optics rail. It sits too low for you for where the optics sit. For my personal preference, it is absolutely not bad. I should also say that if I was using the gun in a military capacity, I would prefer it, which makes sense because if I was wearing body armor, getting up a little bit more is advantageous. So it makes sense why they are fielded that way. But I didn't put it on there, but I do have it. It does drop in there. And for those of you guys who want that, again, they do offer that option. So you guys can get the perfect clone correctness, if you will. So with that, we've already talked about the accuracy. Of course, we have to talk about price, and we have to talk about reliability. So right now, the wear that you guys just saw is the current wear. So right now, the gun's got about 1,200 rounds through it, and like I said, very impressed with the wear. If you guys have watched this channel for a while and compare it to a number of different AKs at similar wear points, this gun seems to be holding up extremely well, which is exactly what I would expect. The Polish factory over there at FB Radom is generally considered by most AK folks to be one of the best AK factories out there in terms of attention to detail, the small things, and absolutely that is what we've seen today. It seems that they're nailing it, even for their export rifles, I should say. And the last thing to talk about, of course, is going to be price. As you would imagine, being made by Westerners in a modern firearms facility, it is not cheap. So it's also not the most expensive out there. But right now, when I just looked online before making this video, these are coming in at $1,499. And that is if they're in stock. Because like I said, a lot of these are getting diverted elsewhere in the world for military contract demands. And then over here in America, for the commercial market, we kind of get what's left over. So $1,499 is expensive. But if you think about what Block AKs are available rather, I should say, in America, you have three big ones, right? So you have this one coming in from Poland, you have the Wasser series coming in from Romania, and then you have the SAM series coming in from Bulgaria. As of right now, for years, the SLRs have not been coming in, so that basically is what you have, and this is a middle price point on these. The SAM series are all going for over $2,000 now, and of course the Wassers are going 800-ish, somewhere in that range. So it sort of is in between. Is it a quality rifle? Absolutely. We have seen nothing but quality performance throughout it. You guys have seen me use a ton of different mags, different ammo, runs it all just fine. And all in all, it seems to be a very well-made rifle. Whether or not you're willing to spend $1,499 on it, that's up to you guys. I can't make that decision for you, but what I will say is that it is a good gun. And if I had the budget for it, would I buy one? I would, especially considering the fact that AKs, like if I made this video 20 years ago, the number of countries I just listed off would have been much longer. However, it seems like every administration bans another country of import. You know, the last administration, or two administrations ago, rather, I should say, banned Russian stuff from coming in. So unfortunately, that was cut off, and that stuff was good and cheap. Of course, the Chinese stuff has been banned for decades now. And it seems like more and more things just keep getting banned. So for that reason alone, I would probably pick one up while I could if I had the budget. So I think that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, you can post them down below in the comment section. You can also post them over at my various social media pages that you see here on your screen. If any type of news or sales or anything like that comes in about this rifle, or any updates as we continue shooting it, those will be posted up on my social media pages first. If you guys are watching this and you're subscribed, thank you. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. If you've done that and you're still not seeing 2 to 4 videos a week here on the channel, you are being censored by an algorithm because I put it out every week. So to counter that, you can sign up for the email at the website here on your screen. This email goes out once a month and it has all the videos since the previous month's email went out, so that way there's no big tech giant censoring your eyes from my content. Additionally, there's other cool stuff at that website that I can't talk about, but head over there and check it out, even if you're signed up for the emails. And then we also have our daily deals email. Sign up for it at the page here on your screen. This email goes out every single day, as the name indicates, and it has 8 typically of the best deals that we find around the internet. If there are sales on ammo, mags, optics, etc., any of that stuff, it will be in that email. If it's in the email, it's the cheapest I know of anywhere on the internet for that particular product on that particular day, so that way it saves you guys some time and hopefully saves you some money as well. And with that, we're going to close it out here on YouTube and Rumble, and we're going to head over to Mug Club to continue on the video. Thanks for watching.